Mr. Speaker, while I recognize that death is an inevitable appointment for all men, the exiting of men of noble stature like my late predecessor can be very difficult to assimilate. As a member of Parliament, the Honorable Dr. Akoto Osei was a tireless advocate for his constituents, working hard to address their concerns and improve their quality of life. He was a man of great vision and purpose who brought passion, dedication, and a deep sense of responsibility to his work. Talking about Dr. Akoto Osei's statute and clout in politics, he was a man whom many revered across the political divide. The degree of respect and recognition which were extended to him were valid testimonies of his deep sense of professionalism, admirable work ethics, depth of knowledge, unparalleled humility, and affable nature. Mr. Speaker, before I had the opportunity to represent the noble people of Old Tafo, Uncle Tony, as we sometimes affectionately called him, was an inspiring role model whose ethics, virtues, and principles influenced my political grooming and overall growth. Like the many others he mentored and inspired, I owe him endless vows of gratitude. His kind-hearted nature, his impact in our beloved constituency, Old Tafo constituency, and his weight in financial discourse in both academia and public service can also not be ignored. On behalf of Old Tafo constituency, where he served for 16 remarkable years, I would like to extend our deepest condolences to his family and all his loved ones. We share in their grief, and our thoughts and prayers are with them in these very trying times. As we mourn the passing of an illustrious son of the soil, let us take comfort in the knowledge that his legacy of service of our country will live on for many generations to come. His dedication, commitment, and passion for public service will continue to inspire us all as we work to build a better and brighter future for Ghana. May the soul of Dr. Akoto Osei rest in perfect peace.
Mr. Speaker, I visited Dr. Akoto Osei on Sunday before his passing on the Monday. I was with him. We watched the Fulham-Manchester United game together. While I was with him, I realized he wasn't too comfortable, so the nurses at home were called to come and assist one way or the other. So I made an intervention, spoke with his senior brother, and we invited a doctor home who came to take some vital statistics of his. And he was the same person who walked upstairs, went with the doctor, did everything, and he was fine. Doctor recommended some tests to be done. He took him to Uracare the next morning on Monday to undertake some tests, only to be called around 4 p.m. that he's passed. It was a very devastating blow. A great sportsman, an economist, a politician who came to serve this country very well, a very selfless politician at that. He was a man of steel. He did work very well as a ranking member on finance for 8 years. And he contributed his quota to the country. And I believe, I'm very sad that I'm making this comment, but he gave opportunities to all the young people on the committee, including Dr. Marcus Ibeyeboa, Honorable Jaja, Honorable Adongo were his friends. They ate, drank, and did a lot of things together, which I cannot talk about in this sad moment.
This is a very sad and very sorrowful moment for all of us, especially those of us who came to this house in the same year with him. He was a very nice gentleman by all standards. Our colleague, the late Honorable Dr. Akoto Osei, I remember very well, joined the President Kufuor administration before he came to this house. And when he came to the house, even as a first-timer, the Speaker, he was also the Minister of State and the Minister of Finance, assisting our other colleague, then, the late Honorable Bawuredu. And the Speaker, he's got the opportunity to sit on both sides of the house. And you could see his experience was very immense. You know, it's very much easier when you're in opposition. All you try to do is just criticize and sometimes obstruct. But our colleague, having been in government during President Kufuor, when we were in opposition, and has faced a lot of challenges with opposition, then we in opposition. When we came into government and he became the ranking on finance, I'm sure my colleague, Honorable Honorable Aveji, James Aveji, our minority leader, Honorable Atufosi, and many others who attest to the fact that he was very, very useful to this house. Yes, he raised his objection very strongly. He will point out where he thinks things are not right very, very strongly. But he understood that beyond all this, we need to have the wheel of government running. And we need to get the house equally running. And I must say, he was very, very hardworking.
Yeah, I recall the occasions when I'd gone to see Terry and I'd asked for him to do some magic, literally. Make sure that some money came from wherever. And he would say to me, Katie, but we don't have a lot of money for this purpose. No, Terry, you make sure that there's something that could be given. The pictorial framework I'm looking at now is when he would turn to the budget statement, to the book, and I was telling the now minority leader how Dr. Akoto used to do it, because I didn't understand what it was. I didn't even appreciate that the table at the back of the budget statement actually showed the specific numbers and the various allocations. So Dr. Akoto would always go to the back there with the Speaker, run through a few things and find some money from there. Mr. Speaker, I would subsequently be telling Professor Jambafo that he shouldn't be just sitting in the when I came in to ask for some money. He should be looking at the back of the document, because that's where Dr. Akoto told me the money was. So you should look there, Mr. Speaker, get me some money. He was a good man. And let me tell you one incident that took place between the two of us. And that actually goes for everyone in this house. Those who gossip, they must know the system of gossiping. They must know how they deal with issues. I'd heard about a little gossip. It goes for everybody. It had to do with him. It was a gossip. I went straight to him. I am so careful. Whenever I make any point, I remember specifically the occasion where I divulge anything. So anything that happens on the back of that, I know exactly where the footprint is. Because so I told him this. Then subsequently, somebody came to me and attacked me. Look, You have been gossiping and you have been saying A, B, C, D about this person and that person and this person, and you have been saying this about me. Mr. Speaker, immediately I dropped the person in their truck and said to them, follow me. They didn't know where we were going, but they were calm, casual. So I walked them straight to the office of Dr. Akoto in the Parliament House here and said to them, this is the person who gave you this information. Both of them broke into laughter. They couldn't believe it. It was, how do you know that he was the person who told me? I said, he's the one human being on earth that I have made this statement to. It couldn't have come from anywhere else. He had to agree, yes, I told this person about this matter. And we settled the matter there and then. He was a very good person. He knew his job. He didn't take his friends for granted. He didn't take life lightly. Of course, life wasn't all that for him. Work and work and work. He enjoyed himself.
I was always looking forward to Dr. Akoto Osei contribution to the budget. You would learn from him. It was a delight to listen to him analyze the budget even from then. But there's one thing which, as has been confirmed by the Honorable Muntaka, that in spite of our differences, governance must go on. That was always his position. I recall when there was a bill about Bank of Ghana financing government, and we on this side were arguing that it should be zero. He was out of the chamber. When he came in, he asked us why we were voting against the policy. We said, oh, government must generate a revenue. And he pointed us to the American Central Bank, that when their banks failed, did the government not intervene? If there was no policy supporting that, could they have done that? So we should make room when there's a failure for the central government to come in and support the country. Quickly, we all changed our minds and supported the government policy. So I think we have a lot to learn from our late brother, Honorable Akoto Osei, about, in the end, our differences notwithstanding, we want government to succeed and government to go on. There's something somebody said, that he said he would not contest again because his wife is not well. Incidentally, many of us dedicate our entire life to the work here and to our constituency. Our families suffer for the things and the achievements that we tout, that we have achieved. Indeed, those achievements are at the expense of our families, our wives and children. And it's a pity that he lost his wife, and within a short period after, he has also lost his wife. Nobody rewards you for that. Finally, everybody is talking about how he relates, but it's also another example of some of the things that I think personally, that we tend to be too mean to one another. As politicians, as MPs, we tend to be mean to one another. Probably what has happened this week, the MP we have lost just the morning, the night before he was with us, the following morning he could not talk, and soon after he's gone. If there was anything anybody else could have done for him at that moment, we would run to. But the night before, if we had asked for assistance, we probably may not have given him attention. That's how mean we are.